Let me tell you about a guy named Jordan. Jordan met this woman through a mutual friend. They vibed instantly. Great conversation, laughter, a spark that felt real. So Jordan leaned in. He started taking initiative, texting her first, setting up dates, making time in his schedule. He figured, this could be something. At first, she was responsive, engaged, flirty. It felt like the interest was mutual. But slowly, things started to shift. She became less available. Her texts took hours, sometimes days. She gave vague answers like, we'll see, or maybe. She cancelled plans last minute. Some days she was sweet, other days she felt miles away. And yet, her Instagram was always active. New selfies, comments from guys, stories at brunch, just not with him. Jordan felt confused. He hadn't done anything wrong. In fact, he was putting in more effort. He thought maybe she was just going through something. Maybe she needed space. Maybe if he just held on a little longer, she'd come around. But the truth hit him eventually. He wasn't a priority. He was a backup plan, an option. And here's the harsh truth. She didn't put him in that position. He allowed it. This happens to so many men. Guys who are solid, loyal, respectful, but still end up on the sidelines. Why? Because they forget their own value. They forget that they are the prize. This isn't about hating women or playing games. This is about self-respect, about not begging for attention, about walking like a man who knows what he brings to the table and never tolerates being treated like a leftover. So if you've ever felt like Jordan, listen up. Because this is what you do when a woman makes you an option, and why you need to start acting like the prize. 1. Spotting the signs. Early. Let's be real for a second. A lot of us know when something's off. Deep down, you feel it. But instead of listening to that gut instinct, you second-guess yourself. You give her the benefit of the doubt. You convince yourself that maybe she's just busy or shy or has a lot going on. You start making excuses for her while ignoring what your instincts are trying to tell you. One of the biggest mistakes men make is not spotting the early signs that a woman sees you as an option, not a priority. It starts subtle. She takes hours or days to respond to your messages, even though you know her phone is glued to her hand. She gives short replies, no follow-up questions, and makes no effort to keep the conversation going, unless you're the one carrying it. You notice that plans with her are always loose, always, let me see, or I'll let you know. And when she does agree, she cancels last minute or shows up late like your time doesn't matter. But when she wants something, attention, validation, a favor, suddenly she's quick to reach out. That's not affection. That's convenience. And let's talk about mixed signals. One day she's flirty and sweet, the next she's cold or distant. She'll give just enough to keep you hanging on, but never enough to feel secure. That hot and cold behavior isn't just confusing, it's intentional. She's keeping you around just in case, while she keeps her options open. Maybe you've tried to bring up the idea of being exclusive, and somehow the conversation always gets dodged. She'll say she's not ready, or she just wants to go with the flow. Or worse, she says labels ruin things. Translation? She wants the benefits of your time and energy without the responsibility of committing to you. This is where most guys mess up. They stick around anyway, hoping she'll change, thinking that if they just prove how good of a man they are, she'll finally choose them. But you're not there to audition. You're not a backup plan or a safety net. When you start seeing these signs, low effort, flakiness, dodging exclusivity, that's when you pull back. Not in a petty or emotional way, but with clarity and self-respect. You're not chasing, you're observing. And if she's showing you she doesn't value you, believe her. The earlier you spot it, the easier it is to walk away with your dignity intact. Don't let potential blind you to reality. Don't fall in love with her vibe while ignoring her behavior. The truth is simple. If a woman wants you, you won't have to guess. You're the prize, and the prize doesn't beg to be chosen. 2. The silent withdrawal. Here's the move that separates the men who get walked on from the men who get respected, the silent withdrawal. No arguments, no long speeches, no drama, no, we need to talk, just action. See, When you realize a woman is treating you like an option, showing inconsistent interest, making you chase, playing hot and cold, the worst thing you can do is confront her emotionally. That's what she expects. That's what she's seen before. Guys begging for clarity, asking, "What are we?" demanding answers. That doesn't get respect. It gets you labeled as needy. Real men don't announce the exit. They make it. The silent withdrawal is when you start removing your energy, your time, your attention, without warning. You stop chasing, you stop double texting, you stop initiating plans, you stop trying to force something that clearly isn't mutual. You're not ghosting. You're just no longer feeding into a one-sided connection. And trust me, she'll notice. She'll feel the shift. When a man who used to be available, responsive, and putting in effort suddenly pulls back without a word, it hits different. Not because you caused drama, but because you didn't. That silence speaks volumes. The key here is to do it from a place of strength, not spite. You're not being passive-aggressive. You're not playing games. You're simply making a choice. If she won't match your effort, she doesn't get your presence. And that's where your power is. Men lose power when they start trying to convince someone to see their value. When you silently walk away, you're saying, "I know what I bring to the table, and I won't argue for a seat at yours." You'll be surprised how often that energy flips the script. She might circle back. She might suddenly want to talk. That's fine. But remember, just because she noticed your absence doesn't mean she's changed her intentions. You're not doing this to get a reaction. You're doing this because your time is valuable and you're done spending it on someone who doesn't truly value you. Sometimes the most powerful thing a man can say is nothing at all. Withdraw your attention, focus on yourself. Let your absence speak louder than any argument ever could. Because the prize doesn't chase, the prize moves on. 3. Upgrading your life visibly. So she treated you like an option. You walked away without a scene. Good. Now what? Now you upgrade your life. And you do it loud enough for the world to notice, but without saying a single word to her. This isn't about revenge. It's not about making her jealous. It's about stepping back into your masculine frame and focusing all that energy you wasted chasing her. On you. On your money, your body, your goals, your peace, your circle, your habits, your environment. You take the version of you that tolerated breadcrumbs, and you evolve into the man who doesn't settle for less than he deserves. Hit the gym like you mean it. Get lean, get sharp, move with intention. Start dressing like you give a damn. Groom yourself like you're about to meet the next chapter of your life. Lock in on your goals, whether it's building your business, stacking cash, leveling up your skills, or shifting your career. You show the world, and yes, even her, that you're not sulking, you're not stuck, you're rising. And here's the best part. You don't have to tell her a thing. You don't DM her, you don't post for her, you don't try to flex in her face. That's weak. What you do is let your progress become undeniable. People talk, social media whispers, friends mention your name in new circles, and eventually, she hears it through the grapevine. Damn, have you seen him lately? He's really doing his thing now. He looks different, in a good way. That stings more than any message you could have sent her directly, because now she's watching a man who she once had, but never valued, glow up without her. And whether she admits it or not, that sits heavy. But again, this isn't about her. It's about you reclaiming your energy and putting it into the one thing you can control, yourself. You become the guy who doesn't chase women. He chases purpose. And ironically, that's what makes women chase him. So if she made you feel like you weren't enough, good. Use it. Let it fuel you. Let it sharpen your focus. Because success, growth, and discipline are louder than any argument. Louder than any "I miss you." Louder than anything she thought you'd become. Upgrade your life, visibly. Not to win her back, but to never feel that small again. 4. The Rebound Test. Here's something you need to be ready for. It's called the Rebound Test. And if you've ever pulled away from a woman who treated you like an option, there's a high chance you'll face it. What is it? It's that moment when she randomly pops back up. Could be a text out of nowhere. Hey stranger. Could be a fire emoji reaction to your story. Could be her watching all your posts suddenly. Could even be her liking a photo from 3 months ago. And you'll think, is she back? Does she miss me? Is this my moment? No, bro. This is the rebound test. And it's not what you think. See, when you walked away quietly, when you upgraded, when your attention disappeared, she noticed. And now she's testing the water. Not necessarily because she wants to come back for real, but because she wants to know if she still can. It's about ego, not emotion. She wants to see if you're still available, still waiting, still hungry for her attention. It's a little breadcrumb to check if the door is still open. And most guys fail this test. They get excited. They respond instantly. They start trying to reignite the connection like it never died. And just like that, they go right back into the same position, chasing someone who never truly chose them. Don't be that guy. If you respond at all, keep it short, keep it casual, keep your power. You don't owe her anything, not your time, not your heart, not even a conversation, especially if she never apologized or took accountability for how she treated you. Here's the thing. If a woman is serious about coming back, you won't have to decode it. She won't just drop flirty texts or passive likes. She'll communicate clearly. She'll bring effort. She'll show change. Anything less is just her ego making sure she still has a spot on your roster. This is where your discipline comes in. You worked too hard on yourself to let someone who treated you like an option stroll back in like nothing happened. If she really valued you, she wouldn't have risked losing you in the first place. So when that test comes, and trust me, it will, you stay grounded. Stay in your masculine frame. Stay focused on the mission. Because responding to a breadcrumb might feed your ego for a minute. But walking away with dignity feeds your soul for life. She's not reaching out because she sees your worth. She's reaching out to see if you still don't. Don't give her that satisfaction. 5. The ultimatum without saying it. There comes a point where you stop talking and start moving differently. That shift, that's your ultimatum. Not with words, not with threats, but with behavior. A lot of men make the mistake of trying to get a woman to act right by saying things like, if this keeps going, I'm done, or you need to decide what you want. The problem is, when you say that and don't follow through, you've already lost. She hears the words, but she doesn't feel the consequence. Real men don't beg for clarity. They become the clarity. Here's how it works. You've been dealing with inconsistency. Maybe she hits you up when it's convenient. Maybe she's emotionally distant. Maybe she's playing games, entertaining other dudes, but keeping you around like a backup battery. You want more. Commitment, respect, consistency. And she knows that. But she's still playing it safe, keeping her options open while soaking up your energy. That's when you stop explaining yourself. You stop giving her chances. You stop talking about it. And you just start showing her what life looks like without your presence. You don't say, if you don't commit, I'm walking away. You simply stop initiating, stop reaching out, stop showing up with energy she hasn't earned. You give her space. And in that space, she either feels the loss and steps up, or shows you who she really is. It's not about being cold. It's about being clear. When a man shifts his energy without warning, without a dramatic exit, it hits different. Because it tells her, I'm not trying to change you. I'm just changing my access to you. That silence is loud. That calm distance, that's the ultimatum. The one she wasn't expecting. If she wants to keep you in her life, she'll feel the urgency. And if not, that's your answer. You don't have to press, you don't have to chase, you don't have to demand. Because your absence is doing all the talking. And if she does come back around, understand this. It's not about what she says when she returns. It's about what she does. Words are cheap. Energy doesn't lie. You're not here to convince a woman of your value. You're here to live in that value and let her rise to meet it or miss out on it. So remember, the most powerful ultimatum isn't a threat. It's a man who walks with standards and doesn't explain them. Either she meets you there, or you keep walking. 6. Walk away permanently, if needed. Sometimes the hardest but most powerful thing a man can do is walk away, for good. Not as a tactic, not to teach her a lesson, not to make her chase, but because deep down, you know she's not your person, and you finally respect yourself enough to stop waiting for her to become someone she never intended to be. Let's be honest, a lot of men struggle with this. You hang on because of potential, because of those early moments that felt so good, because every now and then she gives you just enough to keep the hope alive. But hope without action from her is just a trap. There comes a point when you have to ask yourself, is this making me better or bitter? And if it's draining you, confusing you, making you question your worth, then it's time to stop negotiating with it. Not everything needs closure. Sometimes closure is just you looking in the mirror and saying, I'm done. Let me give you something real. One of my boys, Chris, went through this. He was dealing with a woman who would pull him in, then push him away. They had history, chemistry, inside jokes, but no commitment. She always had an excuse. I'm just not ready. I'm confused. Let's not rush it. One night he finally said to her, calm as hell, look, I care about you. I've shown up for you. I've been patient, but I can't keep doing this cycle. If this isn't going anywhere, I wish you the best, but I'm out. She stared at him like he just slapped her, tried to guilt him. So you're just gonna walk away like that? He said, no, I'm walking away like this, calm, respectful, and finally clear. And he did. She tried to reach out a few times after, but he never went back. Because when you walk away permanently, it's not about her anymore. It's about your peace. You have to understand, real men don't stay where they're not respected. Love is not enough. Chemistry is not enough. History is not enough. If she's not meeting you halfway, giving you consistency, choosing you daily, then it's not your job to keep trying. You don't need her to beg. You don't need closure. You don't need validation. You just need to decide that your peace, your value, and your future mean more than chasing a woman who can't see your worth. Walking away permanently doesn't make you cold. It makes you a man with boundaries. So if it comes to that point, don't flinch. Don't text her late at night. Don't check her stories. Don't reopen the door. Close it, lock it, and walk forward. Because once a man knows who he is, he never begs to be chosen again. 7. Replace her without looking back. She's not the only woman on this planet. You might have felt like she was special. Maybe you had a bond. Maybe the chemistry was fire. But when a woman shows you, through her actions, that she doesn't value your time, your energy, or your presence, it's time to replace her, not out of spite, not to get revenge, but because your life doesn't pause for someone who couldn't see your worth when she had front row seats. One of my boys, Malik, went through this recently. He'd been chasing this girl for months. She gave him just enough attention to keep him around. Cute texts, late-night convos, half-baked promises, but no real investment. Eventually, he stopped trying, focused on himself, hit the gym, got sharper, started his own small business. The glow-up was real. A few weeks later, she texts him, "Hey, been thinking about you lately." He replied, "Cool, hope you're doing well." She said, "You don't miss me?" Malik hit her with the real, "I did, but I don't chase women who left me confused. I've moved on." And that was it. He replaced her, quietly, with peace, with purpose, with women who actually wanted him. Listen, bro, you're not here to convince someone to love you. You're not here to stay stuck in the memory of someone who treated you like a placeholder. The second you recognize you were an option, replace her with a better option. Not just another woman, a better life. A woman who gives what you give, who sees you clearly, who shows up without needing to be chased. And when she does come along, because she will, don't look back. Don't compare her to the last one. Don't wonder what if about a woman who made you doubt yourself. The moment you start living in the past, you disrespect your future. Let her go. Let her miss you. Let her stalk your stories, ask about you, wonder what happened. But you stay on the move. Because when you replace a woman who played with your value, you're not being petty. You're protecting your peace. And you know what happens when you stop chasing the wrong one? The right one notices you're not chasing at all. And that's when everything changes. So yeah, replace her. Not with games, not with drama, not with ego. Replace her with standards, with clarity, with growth, with a woman who sees you as the prize you always were. And once you do, never look back. Men, you are the prize. Never let a woman or this backwards modern dating world make you forget that. Stop chasing validation. Stop begging to be chosen. Start standing firm in your value. Upgrade your life. Move with purpose. Walk away from anything that doesn't serve your peace. Replace confusion with clarity. Replace her if needed. Choose women who choose you back. No more games. No more waiting. No more settling. The world will lie to you, but your instincts won't. Trust them. Lead with strength. And above all, choose wisely. Your future depends on it.